Alright, welcome to my series, Spotlight Artist, where I talk about some underrated musicians with some fire tunes. Today we got the 22-year-old Tampa Artist, 2gaudy or 637 Godwin.
Chrome hearts on my body, I'm a man of steel. Still rapidly taking all these drugs, I'm not sure how to feel. Still she getting slayed in 30 seconds like an IG reel. I'm applying pressure, ain't no way that I can break the seal. Still feel alone in a room full of heads. All these niggas lame, I bet they can't even use their legs. But it's all a game, I know that I'm winning in the end. I don't need a friend, I just need a check to spend.
Alright, now I can't lie, I've been wanting to put this video out for a while now because Gotti is one of my favorite artists, just period. I've been watching his progression for like the last 3 years, and it just pains me how he still hasn't hit the mainstream yet, like he deserves to. I'd say he basically had like a semi blow up from as weird as it sounds, Fortnite montages. Yes, that's dead ass what it kind of was. I mean, if you go to one of his biggest songs, Balling, and go straight to its comment section, you'll see that a lot of the comments are going to talk about the fact that they came from These Knives Only's video. Right now he has 99.3k monthly listeners on Spotify, 30.6k followers on SoundCloud, a YouTube channel with 23k, and 29k on IG. I'd say pretty underrated. As the recording of this, his biggest tracks are She Wants It, Rage, Ballin', For the Vibe, and Tiger, all of which have at least 5 million listens, with She Wants It as his highest with 16 million. What sucks is like 2 years ago, Travis Barker, a drummer from Blink-182, found out about him and then he signed him to his own record label, but shit kind of fell through due to copyright issues with his name being 637 Godwin at the time. Now his original name was Godwin, but then it changed to 637 Godwin, so you'll find the rest of his older music under those monikers. But on August 13th he changed it to 2gaudy, and that's what he has right now. But the other reason was because he was signed during COVID and it was pretty hard to make connections and actually collaborate. So as far as we know right now, he's an independent artist that just works in FL Studio and mixes and masters all his music. And let me just dispel the elephant in the room real quick. He is not a juice clone. I just need to make that abundantly clear because the word clone has been thrown around in music circles for the longest, and it obviously has a negative connotation. Quite honestly, it's disingenuous to the fact that literally all artists or anyone that makes anything from all walks of life has an inspiration of some kind. But what makes an artist actually stand out as themselves is actually taking that thing as an amalgamation and enhancing on certain aspects, or just adding their own flair to it, which I definitely can assure you Gotti does. And he's personally named his influences being artists like Semino, Trippie Redd, and Juice. He also follows some Juice WRLD update accounts too. But I also want to be respectful to him and not dedicate half of this video to dispelling theories about him being a clone. So I'd rather just show and explain his different sound rather than compare him the entire video. And also, if this is your first video from my channel, I'd like you to just click on my channel icon, and after 2 seconds you'd realize I'm a massive Juice fan. And I've listened to all his music out right now and all of his unreleased music too. So I think I'm pretty qualified to tell whether or not he's a clone. Okay, so now that we got all the background out the way, let's dive into the sound.
I ran and got to a track, I got it. Brand new diamond VVS, I bought it. All these lame niggas be smoking chronic. That's where your last nigga worked, the Sonic.
Gotti has a large vocal range and he's quite experimental with the beats he works with and the sounds he goes for. Overall, he's an extremely versatile artist. I won't even just say rapper. I don't want to just box him in like that. Being that most of his influences are also melodic artists, Gotti does follow in the same. And because of that, a lot of his songs tend to have a melodic chorus, and said melodic songs pair with a great singing voice. Now, of course, as a melodic artist, he does have an emotional side of music. And for the sake of brevity, I'll just give like 2 examples of some high quality work I've heard from him. Take his song Vixen from one of his EPs.
Last week I caught sight of a vixen. We locked eyes and time stopped, it all went free.
The song is essentially written from the perspective of a domestic abuse victim who tries to mask this tragic past as much as she can. He also makes it easy to tell between the 2 people in the story by just changing the pitch of his voice. Of course, higher for the girl and lower for the guy. And it all wraps together to make an emotional story. Now, I'm not saying this is the greatest example of storytelling in music. I'm just yet again showing that he's a quite versatile artist with an at minimum adequate understanding for different genres of music. Another example of his great storytelling is in his unreleased track Mama, that talks about a guy that wants to make ends meet for his mom and his family, but takes the wrong route in doing it and basically ruins his life.
One thing that I've learned is that the money has the ugly. The answer to the problem was what took you away from me.
But let's get back to Gotti's voice. He has some raspiness in it, and that actually helps me transition to my next point about 2gaudy's rapping ability. The natural raspiness and voice from Gotti helps him transition from singing to rapping quite smoothly. Another example of an artist that strives from this is Post Malone, and he displays something that I think a lot of modern day melodic rappers are really lacking, and that's knowing how to actually ride a beat and change flows. Now you're probably like, Sauce, ain't that something that's like 101 and hella basic? And yes, you are completely right, but you'd be surprised if you look back at some of these songs that are now releasing. Boy, them songs be the same 4-bar flow for the entire verse, and they just get boring after like the first minute. And it's all the more impressive when you realize that he rarely writes his music. And I know that because he literally streams himself making some of his songs. And these things take like 30 to 40 minutes to complete. Now I know I said I was gonna stop with the Juice WRLD comparisons, but like, there aren't many artists that can actually freestyle a song and have a pretty high quality piece at the end of it in such little amount of time too. And I'm also not saying he's biting or copying, because freestyling is not something that you can just replicate. That takes actual creativity and skill. I'm just saying all this as a testament to his actual skill.
You know that this the shit I propagate, this the prophecy, this my damn philosophy. Ain't no fucking stopping me, ain't no bitch she topping me. Now yo bitch she topping me, she speaking that guapanese. She know that she popping it, she gonna pop it for me. All these hoes out here, they adore me.
He's so experimental that he does rage.
He told me to watch out, he got shooters. Told him to pull up, bet it's only on computers. Glizzy wanna fight, watch out for this chopper. Do you send some shots at your medulla?
Rock.
Flip to the pain, okay, the red.
Overall, just pop music. Point is, he has like a discography of 3 or 4 years, and it's just crazy how he hasn't blown up yet. He has about like 6 albums or EPs out right now. I didn't really want to dive into them too much because I wanted you guys to experience them. Because trust me, it's some good ass shit. And you can claim you were there before the big blow up, because I promise it's gonna happen. Alright, now that we've got all that information out the way, time to open up the good old book of snippets that I need. Alright, Gotti, if you just happen to see this video on like a random Tuesday, can you just like hook us up with these songs in the near future? Alright, I'm gonna need Sniff Till She Broke. How about we toss in Make My Mama Proud in there? You Thought Wrong, that song with you and Yobi Legend, Mama, and to round it off, to keep it at a very generous amount of songs, can you give me Every Day? Nah, but to be serious, if you guys didn't know about him, go check out his stuff. But with that being said, I got a second channel in the description for more funny content. I got a couple more artists mapped out for some more episodes in the series, but just drop some comments below some artists you want me to actually like listen to and then just give reviews for. Preferably those that are pretty underrated or just don't have that much of a huge following. I just want to actually spread some good music around, that's it. But thanks for watching, guys. Sauce999, and peace.
You just fucked up, it's over. Got my box up, Range Rover. They like, when you got this bread? I'm like, shit, late October. Smoking green, 4-leaf clover. Am I clean? I'm not sober. Hey yo, bitch, she came over. On all fours, all her over. Smoke a little pack in the back of my new Benz. These drugs will pick me up. I got 2 sticks in the back, them bitches twins. Smith and Wesson, bro. These bitches all the same. Call me hot boy.